Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's me, the Spirit here, and we're back again with the Buried in Talks, episode 31. Can't believe we finally made it, episode 31. And also, this is season like 4 or 5, something like that. Most likely season 4. So this season here, we're gonna be talking about some pretty cool things. Topics has been popping up. So one of the topics we're gonna talk coming up is sorry. One of the topics that we're gonna be talking about today is the price of gaming, which, like, as you guys know, in this atmosphere, games have been coming out unoptimized, but then the price is still $70. We're gonna be talking about potential, what do you call, the Zelda leak, if possible. I know Zelda comes up pretty soon, and that leak is pretty horrendous to uh fucking Nintendo. And
At the time of this recording, the game will be coming out in 2 days.
yes, in 2 days. So the time is recording, yes. So that's something there. I mean, I heard a lot of people said it's pretty good, and a lot of them already kind of like, been apparently beat it already, which is surprising. That's Nintendo, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like I said, there's a lot of different topics to talk about here. So
Is anybody's feed
oh,
been taken over, by the way,
what do you mean by feet?
by on their timeline on Twitter by like Garfield apparently, and the Good Doctor.
For me, it's the Good Doctor. We could actually
Oh,
we can talk about that real quick. Hold on. We're gonna
Wait,
throw
hang
that
on.
in.
What? Wait, Twitter feeds getting taken over by Garfield and the Good Doctor?
Yeah. So the
so
good.
there's
Mhm.
people rediscovered Garfield, and they also rediscovered the Good Doctor. So they've been
Okay.
taking some Garfield bullshit, but mostly the Good Doctor, which is a show about a extremely autistic uh doctor
Yeah.
who's, I guess, really good. But he's also very young, and he has like uh, what's the phrase? Autistic, like, I don't want to be like autistic rage, but
No, like,
he has,
well,
yeah, he has a
I
normal speech.
watched the show. So yes, he's an autistic doctor. For the most part, so they go through the challenges of him being autistic, because it's never heard before having an autistic doctor. And so
This has
there's
never
some
been
moments where
before.
like the one thing that's special to him is that he'll pause and think for a bit, and like when he's thinking that, like, let's say that
And
it,
load up the virtual HUD, the
basically,
video game HUD of like
basically,
this
yeah,
this is his mind palace, like ensure like this like
basically, yeah, yeah. But it's pretty cool though, like, you
So
know,
chemistry
when you
blind.
describe it like that, you're almost making me think of how in Jimmy Neutron where he's like think
Yeah,
and it just goes to show its brain.
yeah. That's actually what it is though. Think.
that's
That's literally
literally
what it
what it
is.
is.
That's literally what it
That's
is.
literally what it is.
And so yeah, like if no doctor can't come up to like the issue, he'll think of it like really hard, and
Yeah,
then it might pop up to him later. So yeah, people have rediscovered that, and now
I used
they're
to.
trying they're making memes of it,
They're
right?
memeing the
But
shit out of it. I love it.
but
I
now
love
though,
seeing all that
for
stuff.
but now for the most, from what I've seen today, that's going a little bit too far now. It's going a little bit too far, because now they're trying to make up stuff and they're actually literally trying to cancel the show, calling them ableism. And so, and somebody apparently found out that they say that the supporters of the show, the makers of the show, actors, something like that, they support this group called the
Autism speaks.
yeah, Autism Speaks, something like that.
Yes,
I
I've
mean,
heard.
I don't know a whole 100% details. I'm not gonna really speak on that too much. But yeah, I'm just like, y'all are too bored. Like, I get the meme, I appreciate it. It's cool, but like,
I think what's funny is I actually saw some of it pushed on my YouTube,
yeah,
which is weird how YouTube algorithms just time things. Because I'm seeing that, and I'm seeing what was it, Fargo and Billy Bob Thornton just being a menace. But anyway, um, it's seriously, it's really creepy.
yeah,
Um, it's weird because I know what you're talking about, I see what you're talking about, and people like canceling, which I don't really think are canceling. They can't really do that, but I do see like it's one of those things where they're seeing something that's like probably the most problematic scenes and
yeah,
like more um that are meant to get your attention and meant to do that, and they're like putting it in the context of this is the most like outrageous and thing, and it's like it's not inaccurate to say like, okay, some of the portrayal of saying an autistic person is like it's just like that. It's just that. It's kind of like before it was like what Sheldon Cooper
yeah,
from Big Bang Theory. People are like, that guy is like, I don't want people like thinking like just because I'm autistic that I'm like this guy. And I think
yeah,
that's the main issue is like they're worried that people are gonna get this idea of autistic people as like this, and it's
Mhm.
like it's so varied. I think it would be fair if
On
they,
the
I don't know if
spectrum,
they
yeah.
have, do they have more than one autistic character, or is he just the guy?
He's just the guy because
Okay.
because he's very high functioning and like I mean you got to watch the series to understand the series. Very high functioning. He's the one. He went through a lot of trauma when he was a kid, and
Uh,
he wanted to become like basically spoiler alert. The show's been off for like years. His brother died when he was a child, and because his brother
uh,
died, he couldn't save his brother. That's why he wanted to become a doctor. And again,
yeah.
he faces the challenges of becoming a doctor because he has to. No one's ever heard of an autistic doctor like
Yeah.
that. At least in his
Well, that
well, put it
autistic
like this,
because
in
man,
his spectrum, in his
yeah, on the
spectrum, yes.
spectrum.
And so,
That's true.
like I said, the show is a great show. It's just like because keep this in mind, the show started as a UK show, by the way, and then they made an American version of it.
Well, I
So
saw there was a Korean version and a Japanese version that was made.
yeah,
The Korean version I think was made before. Japanese version was made after, and apparently they're going into their 7th season.
yeah,
But with this writer strike, this
it's
might
good.
be the
Yeah,
last. Might be some terror. If you thought it was bad before, man, because the thing about
a
the
lot
writer
of
strike
show,
is it happened. Yeah, it happened
a
back
lot
in
of
the day,
shows,
and
yeah,
shows got bad. That's why we
they
got
got
all this
banned, they
terrible
got
reality
canceled.
shows.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
But
And
yeah, I'm wondering if they're gonna be like
no,
uh
we can
the
segue onto that too.
his foil, like his, what is Dr. Han or whoever it is,
Yeah,
played by like
I,
Dr. Chad
I
Han.
haven't seen
As
like the
people
latest.
keep making him look. Have you seen all those? It's like
I've seen
funny.
one of them. I have not
Yeah,
seen like the latest
Dr.
episodes.
Chad. I'm a surgeon. He's like,
I said, I
and,
didn't.
and like I'm wondering if they're just gonna be
I
like,
think
oh, by the way, I've been autistic this
I
entire
think I remember
time.
that.
I would
I think I remember that
end
episode.
scene.
Like because like yeah, because the doctor was like you're autistic. He basically was like you're autistic. You're not a surgeon. Something of the sort. He said some
Yeah,
type of like rude ass BS.
yeah.
Yeah. I need to catch. I'm like 4 episodes. I'm like 4 episodes behind. I didn't know they
Mhm.
came up 4 episodes. But yeah, so he like says some type of BS like that. He's like I'm a surgeon. I'm like some dick shit that a boss would say or something like that to like
Yeah.
deter you or whatever. And so yeah, if I mean he had it that he had that that happened. But no, I get it though.
I am a gamer. I'm a no.
Oh yeah, before we go on to the next topic, by the way, definitely consider liking and subscribing. By the way, subscribe to the channel, very important. We're gonna try to do this again, this podcast every 2 weeks. So mind you, hopefully we can do it more. We can do it more sometime down the line, but now it's just every 2 weeks. So
Also, don't forget to make sure to turn on notifications.
that too.
Right.
Notifications very important. Very, very important. If you can't get notifications, we got Discord or even Twitter, other places, so consider that. Let's see here. So yeah, let's go ahead and segue to that writer strike real quick though, because that writer strike is something that's very, very, I guess you could say, unique. Well, okay, it's not unique. It happened about in 2007. Tips, you probably don't remember because you were still a kid around that time.
Yeah.
So
I was only 7 years old, so I
yeah.
don't probably know anything.
You're still playing. You're still playing Sonic Heroes or something like that back then.
I was playing
I'm
Sonic
telling you, I was playing
Heroes.
Sonic 06.
Oh my god.
But yeah, like
I
so.
was still playing Sonic Heroes.
I don't remember. I don't remember what I was doing back in 06.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out where we lived at the time. But yeah,
Either way, let's get on to the topic.
So the writer's strike is something that happened way back in 07 where, the writers didn't have, basically I forgot what that one was about. This time though, it's about like something that has to do with like because companies and streaming, right? Because they're shortening their episodes and stuff. To like, because back in the day it used to be like from like 24 episodes to now went to like 13. Now it's going like to like 8 episodes a season or whatnot, right?
Yeah.
And it's because it's shortened up. Writers aren't getting paid enough because what they're so used to having more episodes and more, writing out more stuff, more episodes and all that. And so
It's that, and I was also watching a video on how like apparently they used to make a pilot, and then based on that, and invest a certain amount of money in the pilot, see if it was gonna do anything, and then make
yeah,
a writer's room based on that. But instead now they're basically just writing a bunch of scripts, writing a bunch of stuff in episodes and stuff like that, and then just saying that one, and then just, you know what I mean, going from there.
yeah,
And like, which basically means that like all those, everything's already pretty much pre-assembled, so they don't invest as much
Mhm.
money in that or something like that.
Yeah.
And so then you have all the, we have streaming services now. So it's these streaming services, that's what, they get that easy, get that content and stuff like that. And so, yeah, that's pretty much what's going on. So what that means is that a lot of your favorite TV shows that depend on these writers, of course, are going to get pushed back and delayed. So like things like House of Dragons, that's going to get pushed back another, probably about a year or two. Episodes like shit. So I think Silo's fine. That's the one Apple's newest show. Like a lot of most recent ones just came out. If they're already been like written and done and produced, then of course they're fine. Now, if they're already been applied like another season, I guess you could say, well, that season's got to wait. Especially like Stranger Things. Stranger Things was supposed to come out with season 5, I think like next year. Now it's pushed back to 2025. So
Kids gonna have
Damn.
kids before that new show comes out. They
And
finna
so-
be like 20-some years old each.
yeah, so now they're trying to come up with deals. Well, they're trying to get a deal going, and so far, I mean, a lot of people keep saying, "Well, it's not looking like we're not going to get it. We're not going to get it." I mean, I don't know how long the first one lasted for, but I mean, this one, I'm a big person when it comes to like sci-fi TV shows and stuff, and I mean, I gotta get my sci-fi fix, my sci-fi fantasy fix. I don't know. He's got
You
Garbage.
certainly have quite a pick.
You're gonna get some garbage. You know what's gonna happen? You're gonna see that Starship Troopers armor. The one that gets passed around to every single Star Trek chick. Excuse me, Star Trek. Sci-fi show, and the one that with the big Nerf guns,
mm-hmm.
the painted Nerf guns. You know what I'm talking about? The long
Yeah.
shot.
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna see that shit again.
Oh man.
We're gonna get
But-
trash ass
Bro,
sci-fi.
at this
Can't
point,
wait for
Space,
it.
you're kind of just waiting for them to possibly do a 40K show, aren't you?
I
Oh
mean,
my
I mean,
God.
I mean, there's a lot of potential in 40K. That will be the sci-fi. Like, if you haven't heard of 40K, that's what I'm kind of glad that Amazon picked it up, because Amazon's already has a big name behind it. People criticize Amazon all the time, but also it's not only that, they have Henry Cavill about it behind it, and he's a nerdy 40K. He knows everything about 40K, which is that's already good. That's the reason actually why he left The Witcher, because he really loves The Witcher, and once he started to
Freaking
to break off the lore or whatever, he said, I'm done, because I think he's always stated that.
autistic.
He's always stated that said, like, if you fuck with the lore, I'm not going to be a part of your stuff anymore. And that's what happened with The Witcher.
And
So,
that's understandable.
and people are, that's why a lot,
Witchers.
and that's why Netflix is about to lose like a lot of viewers based off The Witcher just alone, because people tune in for number one for The Witcher, but also, well, really for number one for Henry Cavill, number two for The Witcher. So, they kind of screwed the pooch right
Yeah.
there.
I mean, it's not really
Lore's
good to
little
mess with the
brother.
lore that's been established.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody does that though. Apparently,
Well,
Well, I mean, too much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And I mean, hey, we got a deal for man. We got a deal for or switch to something else, and that's pretty much what people are doing now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's that. Let me see here. Let me see what's in my notes here. Redfall. Actually, no, we're gonna intertwine these two. All right, the price of gaming and Redfall. We're gonna kind of combine these two.
Might as well.
So, as you guys know, recently, $70, has been the new price point for video games. Most games that come out though, they are $70, but other times they are $60, but they get padded up to be $70 with with DLC and deluxe edition passes, X, Y, and Z stuff like that. So with a lot of AAA games that have been coming out lately, and I mean a lot, they've been coming out terrible. Now, keep this in mind. I'm a person when it comes to video games. I'm a person there. Optimization really doesn't matter. Like, I have a strong PC. I'm expected to, play this game at least not perfectly, but at least fine. And if
At least at a very good quality.
yeah, if the game is not optimized, and if I feel like if there's a stutter like every 2 seconds, then it's not enjoyable for me. Like, I know it might sound like, well, you're being entitled this way, but I'm like, bro, these games, like, it's fine if it's like 1 or 2 games, but now it's literally every single game that releases, because, and I feel like what it is that these developers, or not public, I think these developers, right? They're the ones that set the date on when these games supposed to release. So, example, they'd be like, okay, guys, we have this game coming out. We're gonna give it about a year and a half. All right, and as you guys know, unless you're crunching down, that's unrealistic. And so instead of them getting, so a publisher come to them and be like, okay, how long do you need? How much time do you need in order for them to release this game. Well, the dude will probably be like, well, this game's already it's almost done, but we still got more tweaks to do it or whatever. We'll still release it on the instead of pushing it
Suicide
back.
Squad.
Yeah, we got 2 weeks. It's like
Which I have a theory on that.
It's-
I think they saw the people's reaction and they're taking that shit out. Because I mean, this is a part of a separate conversation, but I think have you noticed the destinification of games or the Borderlandsification? They're trying to make this weird looter shooter, but Destiny, so basically with live service attached to it.
yeah,
And I think people noticed that with the Suicide Squad, and they immediately
Yeah.
didn't like it, and they saw it notice. So they're probably going to try to take that out. I think they tried that shit with Shadow of War.
Yep.
Remember? And then they took all that stuff out of the game, and it took them like 9 months, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yep.
I think they're probably doing that again, and I think that's the right decision because that's you can't have another one of those on the market. People are starting to hate that shit. All this games as a service, and Destiny's already fallen apart anyway. So why would you copy this game that's already breaking or can barely, you know what I mean, hold people,
Yeah.
barely get, what's the word, like new people,
hmm
so, but yeah, in general, price of gaming is kind of, or the state of gaming is kind of wild right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, Tips?
Well, in my opinion, the price of gaming is starting to kind of become outrageous, especially with the fact that, like, like you said, optimization is starting to kind of like become bad for certain games that are recently coming out. Because I will say, it is almost, because I did actually kind of funny enough watch a video, and a part of it was just like, what should we do? Should we delay the game to fix up tweaks and make gamers mad, or just release it early, or on time, barely, badly optimized, and still
Yeah.
make people mad?
It's
It's a lose-lose.
what's
Yeah.
crazy is that what you said there. It's like people aren't mad if the game's delayed maybe once or twice. They're not, but it's that third, fourth, fifth time. You might as well just say, hey,
Yeah.
what's
Well-
just released delayed by 1 year, like at the start, and call it a day. At least at
Yeah,
that point.
and that's
Yes,
understandable, because I mean, technically, yes, sometimes games getting delayed the first time, some people will be mad, of course, but obviously it's understandable, because if it gets delayed, then that means that the optimization can get fixed, which means that afterwards it can actually run good, and they could probably do some other quality stuff that can
Yeah.
make the game better.
Yeah.
I've heard the excuse generally being that with optimization is that there's too many like setups and they don't have that as much time to do it. But
Yeah.
it's like that, yeah, stuff like that. And also, I think there was a side note. There was like one of the devs for, was it RedFall or was it Jedi? Because that was another game that was released in a crappy state. Jedi Survivor. They were saying that they had tried to access or download the game to the computer or to another rig too many times, so they weren't able to access the copy, even though they were apparently working or testing the game.
So Jedi Survivor's the newest one, correct?
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
newest one.
Okay.
Apparently,
I was forgetting if it was that one, or it was the previous one.
yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely the newest one though. Now, and it's
Mm.
now I know some people played it and brute forced it and had to enjoy it,
I don't think
had
it's
fun.
bad.
It's not bad. Now some people I had a dude who's very
Just
critical.
unoptimized.
I have a guy who's really critical. I have a friend who's really critical on piece what's it called, just games in general. And so he said, like, at least in his opinion, he didn't enjoy it. I guess I'm not sure if it was like the optimizations behind it or not. But he said, like, this is probably like, he was like, this is the worst like Star Wars game I played to date, something of the sort.
Damn.
Yeah,
That's
for him, he's really critical when it comes to like games and stuff, and he just says the story just doesn't do it for him or whatnot. I have to, like, he says he does reviews, by the way, keep this in mind. And so he was like, it got so bad to the point he was just like, yeah, I'm not gonna. He did one review at first, and then he's like, okay, no, I'm gonna go back and redo it or something like that. Okay, he's like, it wasn't fair the review that he gave it. So I'm like, all right. But yeah, that's pretty much what happened with that. What's another game that came out unoptimized? Let me look at my freaking wish list. I mean, I know there's a boatload. Okay, if we got Forspoken. I feel like honestly, If that game, I already spoke on that game multiple times, but if that game was more optimized, people would actually enjoyed it more. And also, a lot of people didn't get past the demo in that game, so because they didn't get past the demo, they didn't really, enjoy it. There's
Not
also
that the reason people didn't enjoy it was for another reason.
there's a lot of reasons for Forspoken. There's a lot of reasons why they didn't enjoy it. People mostly didn't enjoy it because they memed the hell out of it. Like how I've been saying, it's gonna be one of those games where 2-3 years down the line, it's gonna be like the best game ever. Honestly, at least not the best game ever, but it'll be like, yeah,
a
we
game that people should have
misjudged.
gotten higher. Yeah, that's just a shame. Like I feel like when it comes to like tech specs and games, like I feel like certain games can like I feel like they need to get another chance in terms of like how they release. But I feel like it's bullshit that they get released in the state that they are in
Yeah,
initially. Like it'd be one thing if it was early access, so to speak, and like as it came out, I think some games with early access, as they get better, they get more expensive,
yeah.
or they add things to
That's
the
actually
game and
that's
stuff
actually
like
that's what.
that. Like technically, Vampire Survivors, you want to be for real, like it's a great game, but it's like the fact that it gets a little bit more, like what, $5 more here and there, or $3 more, or whatever. Like
Yeah,
that's fine because that's a solid whole experience for like more and more time. I wish I had more things to do in that game and I would pay additional. But
yeah,
like when you have something like, which obviously that's not as complicated as say, Redfall or whatever. But when they come out in the state they're in, I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
holy shit, you sold a full price game like that. You really sold people like, hey, we're coming out, and now you gotta bullshit people and be like, well, we're probably gonna, work on it and you know what I mean, fix
Yeah,
it. But it's like
yeah,
you can't reasonably expect that they'll, you know, do the thing that the one thing did, the No Man's Sky.
yeah. No,
They can't do that to every game. That's not really feasible. Like I don't even know how No Man's Sky is still making any money from that at this point.
Hey, if I remember correctly, what's it called? Cyberpunk when it first came out was very badly
Yeah.
optimized, but
that was
nowadays
Infamous.
obviously it's gotten better.
Right. And it's not even a bad I don't think people even think it's a bad game. It's just
they
It
overprom they
just
was
they
done
the
better.
optimization
it
really.
Yeah.
was that, but they also overpromised.
Yeah.
Like
Mm.
people like
Overpromised, underdelivered.
pretty much, yes, that's exactly what it was. And every time they kept saying, "We're going to delay it, we're going to delay it," and it's
It's
like,
There wasn't like the game like in development like since like
developmental hell. Yeah.
yeah, it was develop whatever.
basically.
It was in hell
Yeah.
because what didn't it get announced like back in like 2015, 2016
No,
or earlier?
Yeah.
it got announced, but that means that they just started the project. It's not doesn't mean that, like, usually when they announce, like, okay, so they announce games like super early like that. That means that they basically just started the whole, like, process basically,
Yeah,
and so they're like,
and that's understandable when like it gets
now
announced. Obviously, they had to start
whatever.
working on it, but
Whatever around 2019, 2020 is when they started to, like, really start to push it, though. That's when they started pushing
gotcha.
it. Yeah. And so, because they have something to show now. And so,
Yeah.
they kept they kept doing, just saying, "Hey guys, look at this gameplay here, gameplay." They kept showing off different
Yeah.
aspects of the gameplay, getting people hyped up, and then the hype was just overflowing. And then the game, they're like, "All right, guys, we're at the delay." You got that big yellow, poster board there or whatever. And it says, "All right, guys, we got to delay it. We'll be
It's
back soon."
yellow cyber. I still hate that.
No,
I still see people like, hey, did they fix this thing? And people are like, no, but they fixed this, that, and the other. And I'm like, wow. Like,
so
they're still piecemealing things.
basically,
But they
Yeah,
did add a lot. They did add a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I see things like I think I have it. I need to play it. Maybe I will when I get my an actual
like I said,
PC.
it's not a bad game because, I have it. Eventually I'm gonna get back to it. I told myself, like, when I bought it, I think it ran fine for me, but it'll still kind of like a struggle. I mean, I test it out every so often now, and it runs a lot better than it did originally. Um, but I always say that, like, I'm still gonna play it when they add in more, more feature stuff. I think, like, they're only adding in one more DLC, which they already showed off at the awards some time ago. So I mean, it's all about waiting to see, at
yeah.
this point. But yeah, price of games though is just it's tragic. It's horrendous. You
Yeah.
know, Battlefield 2042 came out that way. I mean, I think that was more so just the game was just wasn't that it was unoptimized or anything of the sort. It's just they bare bones of features on that one.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
at this point, it's not even the price. It's just like the fact that they're coming out.
Half
Like
baked.
we've dealt with it
Yeah.
half baked. We dealt with it in this generation anyway. Uh, even before, like after they did that initial price hike from like what was it like, it was $50 and it went to $60,
Mm-hmm.
right, or something like that. And then like we've already dealt with that price hike in terms of, and realistically, you pay even more with DLC if you're, especially if you're, buying season passes and stuff day one, which I haven't bought a
By the
day,
way, keep in mind. Speaking of which, sorry to cut you off. Season passes are starting to come $50 now. A whole nother game. Dead ass.
Yeah, I'm gonna need them to cut that out. Like, if you're gonna do that, you might as well have the first season pass free or something like that at least.
Because there's two.
At that point, it might as well just be its own
Look,
fucking
because
game.
look,
Yeah.
because there's two games that are in my current library which have that. First one is Marvel's Midnight Suns. If you can buy the season pass or the expansion pack or whatever, or expansion pass. It's a whole nother 60, like damn near $50 or whatever. Then you have, and that comes a whole bunch of skins and extra story DLC stuff like that. Then they have another one which is called Age of Wonders 4, which I recently got and I enjoyed a lot. But then I'm like, okay, what if I want to buy some DLC and stuff, right? They call it the premium shit or stuff or whatever, right? First off,
Premium.
by itself, by the way, just for the normal game, it's $50. For the expansion pass, it's another $50. So it's like this content here that you be putting out better be worth the the extra 50. I mean,
Yeah.
to me, that's crazy. Like they do need to chill out. That go ahead though. I'm sorry.
That's why I'd be worried. Like I was saying, I was just about to say, like, that's why I watch out for those sales actually. Like I rarely buy games like day one anymore
I
because
don't either.
all this stuff, every time this stuff happens, it really renews my faith in, like, yeah, it was really a good idea not to have to pre-order that. The only time is like I don't even think there's a reason to pre-order games anymore because of the
Nope.
state of the gaming industry as it is. They're not really being as honest as they should be. If they're being straight with me, if they're being honest with me, which I know is difficult, I know people are going to get pissed off anyway, but it at least makes me go, okay, that's a game I want, or that's a game I really want to mess with, and you know what I mean? Or my
Yeah.
experience, like with Nintendo's, like, yeah, they rarely, fuck things up in that way, but there's other things to get mad at Nintendo for.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
another
Oh, yeah.
game that it's almost like $50 for a season pass is Borderlands 3.
Well, everybody forgot Borderlands 3 at
Yeah,
this point.
Borderlands 3 season pass 1 is $50.
Yeah, it's like y'all.
to be fair, that is
Funny enough, mixed.
Mhm. Oh well, yeah, mixed reviews.
Yeah,
Oh
To be
yeah,
fair,
mixed
that's what the,
reviews,
because
but like
a lot of times they don't have the content to make it worth the price, and also a lot of this whole season pass and expansion pass stuff, mind you, are things that should have been put into the game, but they piecemeal it out, say, well, we're gonna make this
Yeah.
DLC instead. We're gonna try to make this game feature complete, but hey,
yeah.
was
So realistically, games are like $100.
pretty much like you might as well charge 100, and pretty soon when it gets to that price point, people aren't just gonna buy games anymore. I mean, I get it that games, truth be told, gaming is a luxury. Truth be told. But
Yeah.
like, it's not pretty soon that luxury. People just gonna be like, "Fuck it, we're gonna pull up the PS2, the original Xbox, and we're gonna go from there. We're gonna go from there."
That's what they need to do. I've
we're
heard
going
the
back in
phrase.
time.
Yeah, I've heard the phrase. I want what, cheaper games or shittier games or something with less graphics done by well-rested people, something like that. Basically, to the point where I don't care if they look a little less bad, maybe last generation. I don't care if they don't necessarily have to have people crunching, and they can be affordable. We can just get that because they were fine. And like I'm thinking, like, man, if they just went back a generation and just made a series of games that were complete and just like we had those, we had them.
Yeah,
We didn't know we had it, but we had those.
that's what I talk about, man. Like, I know that a lot of people want these God of War experiences when it comes to games, so, but y'all, people gotta start remembering, man. Yeah, I think my friend said it best. This happened. This is because of social media, and that is back in the day when we had a whole bunch of 6s and 7s and even a 5 or 2, those weren't necessarily bad games, mind you. They weren't bad. But nowadays, because we have social media and people can meme and shit,
Oh yeah,
these games are now considered terrible. If they're not that
the
God of War
worst
experience,
part.
if they're not an 8+, they're not even worth your time. And hell, it makes it even worse when you got this whole IGN shit that popped up recently with the whole. I wish I could play the video for y'all, but they keep getting taken down from certain sources. Where they specifically said, "Oh, they only review games that are people going to be hyped for or whatever. And if your game is not quote unquote hyped for, your game's basically shit." And so it's like, bruh, it's like, dude.
Let's be honest. IGN gives something like out certain scores for like certain aspects for like the weird reasons.
I mean, yeah, they said that Pokemon Red was it Ruby or whatever was terrible
Yeah,
because of
too
water.
much
Yeah,
water.
too much water. So I mean, you can't really take them that serious.
Yeah, that was their main con for Gen 3 remakes. Too much water, which is kind of the most memeiest fucking thing I've ever heard.
Pretty much, yeah. Oh man. Let's see. Let's get one more topic in. Let me see here. We can talk about real quick the Zelda leak. Just a real quick one.
Not really much to say. It leaked.
Yeah, it leaked.
Yeah.
YouTubers are playing it currently right now. Some YouTubers are beating it. Some people already basically have their Let's Plays ready for the most part. So I try to tell people, man. So I try to tell Freaky Sailors J, you have 2 Switches. You got your original one. Shit, hack that shit. Honestly, every Nintendo YouTuber that I follow, they always have a hack Switch. They have it on the ready. Like, because when Nintendo hacks get, their leaks or whatever happen, whether it's Zelda or Pokemon or whatever, a week early, bruh, they already set, dude. That's why you'd be like, damn, how'd y'all get that Let's Play out so quick? Yeah.
I've had some friends do that, like show me their original Switches and that they hacked them, and I'll be like, damn, like you could be lame like me, or you can be cool and
Yeah,
do the.
Yeah.
You can.
I
You
mean,
gonna
if
be? Oh, go ahead.
as I say, if you have like the money for a second Switch, go for it. I mean, it's always good to have a modded Switch if you want, obviously do that kind of stuff, or if you want, for example, what I kind of want to try and do is mod Smash Bros. So I had different skins for characters.
Oh
Mhm.
man, if I could get my hands on an OG Switch, that'd be great. But like, can you still do it with the new ones, or have
No.
I don't think
hypothetically
you
speaking?
can't do it with the newer.
No, not with the new ones. Not the new ones.
Yeah, you can't
Can you
do it. You cannot do it with
Can
the
you do
OLED, and I don't think you could do it with the newer models of the original.
Right.
For example, I got mine back in like the end of 2017, so I don't. Mine's like a possible mod.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
No,
Maybe.
yours had to been like you could check on the barcode on your Switch to see if yours is, but for the most part though, it has to be the original Switch because it was a hardware exploit, and the hardware exploit can't be fixed. Is already out in the wild. Now,
Yeah.
eventually though, when technology progresses a good bit, there is a chance that we'll be able to do software hacks and stuff too. So
Yeah.
Didn't they recently actually kill a emulation project for the Switch,
I think
or a
so.
Switch emulator or something like that? I
I
remember
heard
hearing
something.
that at Nintendo just like last week or something like
I
that.
heard something. You have to
And
definitely look that up.
they also basically buried a man in debt. But I mean, he was still technically I don't want to say stealing, but he was using like he had like a ROM website or something like that.
Yeah.
But he was paying like cash for money, which I think is the major no if you're gonna pirate. You know what I mean? Don't be that illegal. Don't do something illegal while you're doing something illegal. Is probably
Yeah.
the best advice I can give you out there. You got something in the trunk? Drive the speed limit.
Basically, yeah. Basically, you ain't wrong. You ain't wrong. But that's what it is, though. It's just games and everything, man, stuff is just different, man. That's why, like, I calm down on buying certain games. Like, there are certain games that I want, like, I want Age of Empires 4, Tears of the Kingdom. Probably the last game I'm gonna pick. Well, of course, there's gonna be a couple more games. I keep saying the last game I'm gonna pick up. I mean, there's a couple I want for later this year, like Warhammer 40K Bolt Gun, which is a boomer shooter that comes out pretty soon.
Yeah.
I'll be picking that up. There's Space Marine 2, Rogue Trader, Metal Slugs. So yes, there's a couple games that I want. Like, I won't say like there's about 10 to 15 games I actually really do want, and anything else I don't really care for. Like, because most games, you beat them once, that's pretty much it. Now there are some other games where it's like, okay, they can keep playing them every single day because they're fun. It's static stuff like that, and it's it's perfectly fine. It's just as adults, it's right now it's just hard enough already to game anyways. It's just it's a challenge already, but it is what it is.
Most popular
I
games
just checked my Switch. Good news, mine is actually moddable.
Yeah, so if you were able to buy an OLED,
Now, if you wanted to be a
Which
criminal,
is what I am gonna plan on
filthy
doing at some point, is
criminal,
buying an OLED.
and go over there,
And then I can mod, and then I can actually mod my Switch.
I mean,
Go ahead, you
I mean,
potential criminal.
the way how I look at modding, though, honestly, for the most part, if the games can't be bought legally anymore, or if they're hard to find, you can mod your shit.
Yeah.
Like PS3 is starting to become that way. Original Xbox is already that way. PS2's been that way, of course. Any other older console been that way. It's once it gets to that way, you might as well. It's in the service now. Like,
it's funny enough, I look at it and it's just like, if your series are between this number and this number, it's unpatched and moddable. If they're between it's potentially patched. And then if it's between those, like another set of numbers, it's patched and can't be modded. And mine is 100% confirmed moddable.
Mm-hmm. But any last closing words, y'all, for the podcast here today?
Shoot, man. Play some games. Play like cheaper, less known games that are critically acclaimed. Because IGN apparently can't be bothered to.
Yeah. Hey, them not no games, man. They if you especially do like a YouTube or something like that, or Twitch or stream or something like that, Deb might actually follow you and be like, oh shit, you found it.
Yeah.
You found it.
I mean, hey, hidden gems on consoles can be really worthwhile to try.
Facts. What about you, Tits? Any last words?
No, not really.
Yeah, one last.
You ain't got nothing
correct.
Nothing?
It is morally correct and great to
you ain't got nothing else to say, Tips? Huh?
Hack your consoles.
Nothing else to say, Tips?
When the company doesn't support it, like the Wii U.
Oh yeah.
The 3DS.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Those have been dropped. Those are now moddable, piratable. You got them anymore.
It's good. Morally correct now. It's officially morally correct to hack your Wii U and 3DS consoles. Nintendo.
Oh, definitely. I mean, you can say you can't even buy games on them anymore.
Nope. And that's why it's more. That's why it's correct.
Get those emulators. Get those dolphins chirping. Get that program loaded.
Yep, pretty much. Well, that's it.
I mean, after all, it's already been memed to hell that it's easy to mod. It's easy to mod your 3DS.
Yeah, it really is though.
Only requires a
R4 card.
Tutorial.
No, you just need your R4 card and that's it. It's simple.
No, there's a program you can put on there, I think.
But at this point, guys, this is going to be the end of the podcast here. Thank you guys for tuning on in. Much appreciated on that. Next, mark your calendars. Next 2 weeks, we'll be doing another one, of course, seeing what kind of juicy things to talk about here. This was podcast episode 31, season 4 of the Buried in Talks podcast. Again, thank y'all for watching. Definitely remember to like and subscribe to this channel to help this channel grow. Also, follow me on Twitter if you want to at Disparity. Vanta and Ryan, y'all can do your call to action. Y'all got one?
You can go first, Ryan.
Leave me alone.
All right. Well, as for me, you can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/worksfortips. I just do variety-based gaming, and you can also find me on Twitter with my @worksfortips. Keep in mind, preferably make sure you're at least 18, as I just mainly just kind of like a bunch of possible NSFW stuff.
Yeah, so that's OnlyFans.
Just
What? What? Who? What? That's good. All right. Thank y'all for watching. Y'all have a good one. Peace out. Much love, everybody. Bye.